Hello everyone and welcome to my show. I'm Melody Trice and I'm super excited that you decided to watch the show today. You know I'm totally about living life unlimited. Well, let me tell you a little story. Back in the day when I was younger, which wasn't about 2 years ago, right? Okay, I always thought about that I couldn't go to college, that college wasn't something that was for me. And I won't say that it was because of me being a black girl, but because I didn't think it was possible that I was able to go to college. For one, my mom really couldn't afford it, so it really wasn't something that she really talked to us about. But it's very important that we talk to our youth about how important it is to go to college because knowledge is power, right? And in order for us to live life unlimited, we definitely got to gain as much knowledge as we possibly can. Because if you want to live life unlimited, guess what? Knowledge is what's going to get you to where you're trying to go, right? And truly, college is a number one thing that we all need to do. And now that I know, even though I'm just only 20 years old, right? I'm able to go to college, and I'm going to college right now. Even though I'm going to a junior college, trust me, it's putting me in a preparation in place so that I can go to a 4-year university. So that's something that I want to share with you because I want you to live life unlimited. And that is exactly what my guest today, we're going to talk about how you can live life unlimited by going to college, doing the things that you need to do in order to prepare yourself for living life unlimited. So after these messages, we're going to be right back.
I know it may seem like your life is falling apart, but don't quit now, here comes your second wind. I am here to uplift our young ladies that want to give up on life, to let them know that God has a plan for you. Please join our efforts as we all can uplift our young ladies and together save our daughters against homelessness. We love you. Don't quit, baby.
And welcome back. I'm here with Dr. Pamela Scott Johnson, all the way from California.
California by way of Baltimore, South Carolina, Chicago, New York. So I've kind of lived around the country.
You've been going all around from the South to the East Coast to the West Coast. Well, now you're here in the West Coast. But you go back and forth, right?
Well, this is as far west as I've ever lived.
Oh,
Mainly
really?
in the Midwest I've stopped, but hey.
But you're originally from
South Carolina.
South Carolina.
I am.
Is it country part of South Carolina or the city girl?
I have to say I lived in town.
Oh.
There is a distinction between living in the city and living in town.
Yeah, because in town mean you have at least one grocery store.
And the county seat.
Oh yeah, and the county. You know what? Where I actually moved from Alabama, was the county seat. Even though we didn't have the most people, but I think they do that on purpose.
I think they do also.
So I know that you are the dean of Cal State LA for which division?
So I'm the dean of natural and social sciences at California State University, Los Angeles. I just moved here in August.
Wow.
I moved from Morgan State University, which is in Baltimore, Maryland. And the two things that both institutions have in common is that they're known as minority serving institutions. Morgan is a historically black college or university, and California State Los Angeles is known as an HSI, a Hispanic serving institution. And that's really a Department of Education designation, but really reflects the types of students that we have in terms of ethnic background, but it also is reflective of the community and the ways that we really want to focus our educational experiences for students.
Well, that's very important what you're saying because, like I was saying in my introduction, is a lot of people don't realize, especially minority people of color, realizing the opportunity they can have by going to school and how important it is. So, how important is it for people, of color being able to know about the difference, just the different colleges that actually, specialize on their ethnic group?
Well, what's really interesting, Melanie, is that my parents were teachers. So one of the things that helps me gain knowledge or be more knowledgeable is the fact that my mother taught mathematics and chemistry. my father taught psychology, and his students used to say, "Your daughter uses more psychology than you teach." Being a daddy's girl, that probably was a compliment, I think. And then I come from a family of educators. So in the South, when I grew up, the mantra was, you have to get an education. You have to focus on your education. So you had a community, people in church, the hairdresser across the street, everybody was talking about which college they were going to. And so college was much more of a mantra for moving ahead and really kind of moving your sense of purpose and having the knowledge to kind of live the mission that God has given all of us. So,
well, coming from where I come from, people really didn't talk as much about the fact of you going to college. And I think a lot of times it's really your surroundings, because most of the people in your family was educators that really put in your head, okay, you're going to go to school. And I wonder, and maybe you can answer this question, why do people, especially in the South, and even now, they tell them to find a trade, something you're good at, versus encouraging them to go to college? Because, we all have some type of talent, but college really do a lot more. So, why do they do that?
I'm not sure what people's motivation is. I do remember, though, having parents in a family who really supported young people. Growing up in the county seat that I grew up, there were textile mills, and people could actually have a job in one of the 4 textile mills. And then there was a fiberglass shop. So you had many more manufacturing companies that needed, just manual labor. And so people who worked in those areas ended up making a lot of money. However, once that base has changed in the whole country, and that manufacturing base is really not going to come back. We're in a technological or digital era now, and people really need that knowledge, whether it's programming, whether it's just understanding. I mean, I mentioned that my hairdresser was that my next door neighbor was a hairdresser. I mean, she knew a lot of chemistry. She knew what, very much like you, what to put with what. And, and
you
so
gotta know how to mix them chemicals.
Exactly. And
they won't have no hair.
And she was licensed.
Yes.
And so, so the base of employment has really, really changed. We're really in a knowledge and a technology age, and it's very critical. So I think that part of that is as you said in your introduction, sometimes people don't know that college can be paid for. Some people don't know that there are government grants, there are sponsorships, there are scholarships. However, it's just really critical that during this era we don't let the privatization of colleges kind of keep people from being part of what could give them a leg up.
Yeah, that's true. So
first of all, I would encourage every high school student to do 2 things. One is to really connect with their college counselor, their teacher, and the second is with their teacher. A teacher that you like, that has really shown interest in you, but mainly show interest in yourself. Go to the college counselor, say, I want to go to college. What scholarships do you have? California really is committed to having an educated public. Why? Because by the year 2030, there are going to be 2.5 million jobs going to be here. They are digitally oriented. Sorry.
Well, because most of the young people are, they're on some type of social media. They're doing something with their computer, or they game programming. My son, that's what he's going to school for. And I think about too, especially with minorities, students, it has been told to them, you get a scholarship by playing sports. And I tell them, whether it's soccer, whether it's football or basketball, you still need an education, because what, God forbid something happening, what are you going to do?
No, you really do need to hit those books. And somehow people make it hard. But the kids in my neighborhood love to read comic books. Now, I don't know if you can pick up a comic book, but you certainly can get the comics online. because it gives you a different kind of vocabulary. I had a friend who loved, romance novels. She used to read, 1,000 pages of romance novels.
Wow.
The key is that people need to read more. And now that you can get anything you want on the line, get a library card. The library has a ton of
Oh
information.
my God! I just realized that the library was that.
Oh, the library is
amazing.
an amazing place.
Because I didn't go there that much when I was young.
And it's also free.
It's
all
free.
you have to do is show up with your phone bill or something that says you're a resident of a particular area. They have so many resources in the library.
And they actually will, if it's a book that you need or you want to,
They'll get it from
they'll
anywhere.
get it from anywhere else.
They'll
And I
get it
thought
from
that was so amazing, to be able to do. And they have the computers there that you can go on. If you don't have one at home, you definitely can use it there.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Cal State LA
Sure.
and your journey from there to actually here, real quick. Like, just give us the transition.
So I got to Cal State LA because the California State University system really educates. There are 23 campuses that are part of the Cal State system. There's the University of California system, and there's the Cal State system. And most of the individuals in the state are going to be educated at one of those Cal State systems. California also has a great community college system. Some people just aren't ready to dive into 4 years, either because they're trying to find their way in terms of, how do I fit in this class, or, how do I develop study habits, or I haven't really decided what I want to do. And community college is a great place to explore. So I moved from Maryland to California because of the commitment to educating the citizenry, but it's a very progressive system.
Wow.
There are so many students that want to be educated. The population of California is extremely diverse.
And it's growing. Like, California
is growing.
As they say, the melting pot of everything. That's pretty much what California is.
Right.
And then California also give you all those different opportunities. So tell me this: what made you choose this particular? Because your mom, right, was into math.
Right.
Your dad was
in the psychology.
Yeah. So what made you want to do the particular one that you are doing?
Okay, so I'm actually trained as a neuroscientist. That's an individual who understands what's happening in the brain and how your brain activity impacts or is affected. You do need to know that for a number of ways. We have more and more people who are suffering from depression. So some of the research that's done in the brain helps us understand, how to help people with depression, how to help people with different motor illnesses. So the brain is really where it's happening. The brain and the heart is where it's happening.
Wow.
But when I left, so I went to Spelman College in Atlanta, Georgia. Spelman College is an institution that tells every young woman that goes in, you are supposed to lead the world, and we're going to give you the tools. And I don't think I lack anything in thinking that I can lead anything and anybody, aside from the fact that my mother gave me a healthy dose of confidence. But Spelman is a place where women, young women, develop into adult women who are committed to lead and who want to lead.
Wow.
And so I left Spelman and I went to Princeton University, where I did my graduate work and in neuroscience. I spent 10 years in a corporate environment.
Wow.
So
I did basic.
Awesome. I did basic research, had a lot of support from my company, and then I moved back into academia. My father used to say, "Oh, we want you to go back in the classroom." I thought, I'll never do that, but here I am.
Here you are. Well, I totally have enjoyed this conversation. We're going to have to do a part 2.
Okay.
Because, a part 2 on education and, to be able to know someone who done went to Princeton, y'all. Oh,
well,
God.
Spelman College, too.
Oh, it's Spelman, too. I'm not knocking. Well, I appreciate you so much for being such an amazing guest. And I hope y'all have been educated and want to really go out there and continue your education so that you can live life unlimited. We'll be right back after these messages.
I know it may seem like your life is falling apart, but don't quit now, here comes your second wind. I am here to uplift our young ladies that want to give up on life, to let them know that God has a plan for you. Please join our efforts as we all can uplift our young ladies and together save our daughters against homelessness. We love you. Don't quit, baby.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. You know we're here talking about education, knowledge. Well, my amazing guest right now, her name is Dr. Kaliki Clark. Girl, did I say it right? Did I mess it up? Because you know I do mess up people's names. Say it for me.
It's Kalaki Clark.
Kalaki Clark.
Yes.
You should have your own perfume line.
All right, I'll put that on my to-do list.
Yes, well, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Melody. Thank you for having me.
You know, I feel pretty good having a doctor here on the show, especially a female doctor.
Thank you.
So one of the things I do want to talk to you about is what really drove you to want to be a doctor? Because we don't have that many black women that are doctors.
That is correct.
Yeah.
So my interest in becoming a physician has been since childhood.
Oh.
So yes, since I was 5 years old, I had a family member who had some health challenges, and they went to the hospital multiple occasions for different reasons, saw physicians, and I just marveled at the idea of going to someone who can fix you. So with that marvel, so to speak, I had an interest in science, did well in school, stayed focused, and eventually got to my goal.
Wow, I think that's amazing.
Thank you.
Because you know, it's always something that actually motivates us to go to the next level.
Correct.
And one of the things too is being a doctor, you know, when you're seeing different type of patients, how do that feel actually? I mean, I'm just diving right into it. How do that feel, you know, like having those different people and working on them?
It feels good. I consider it a privilege. You know, being a physician, you get to have access to people's lives that you wouldn't normally have access to. You know, I mean, I have some patients of mine who are like maybe friends of my mother, and I know things about them that she doesn't know about them, you know, and just having that relationship to, you know, be able to educate and inform one-on-one to promote health is just a privilege to me. Feels
You know,
good.
I feel so amazing to be able to have two doctors on the show. One, you know, still considering education, and then one still with education for as medical, because you educate people on how to take care of their body.
Correct.
And you know, truth be told, you know, for as like doctors, a lot of times it's very difficult to find a really good doctor.
I agree.
You know, and I don't know why. Like, is that what you think? Maybe lack of passion, or maybe the situation? You know, I don't know.
There could be several reasons. I mean, first of all, there's not that many doctors in general. Of course, not let alone physicians of color. But it's hard to find a good doctor because sometimes people don't go in it for the right reasons. So then, if they come across as not being good, so to speak, then that can be reflected in how they, you know, carry out their practice or how they treat patients. But you know, keeping in mind that this is, I consider, a calling. So if you know you experience a bad doctor, maybe they weren't called to do what they did. Maybe there was outside influence or pressure from family or friends, or they thought it was going to be an issue of esteem or status, or so to speak, that got them there. But sometimes, believe it or not, yelping.
Yelping do help.
It does. I mean, it sounds corny, but it does help. I mean, knowing what other people think about your physician, actually, it makes a difference.
So, you know, being a woman doctor, how have that had any type of challenge or anything like that, being a female doctor?
Well, I've only been female, so I wouldn't know how it would be to be a male doctor.
Well, what I'm saying is,
I got you, girl.
is because, you know, it's mostly men.
Correct.
You know, and then so pretty much when you walking into that room, especially if you're having a meeting, it's mostly male. And
Correct.
then you being a black woman and a
Correct.
doctor,
Right.
I'm sure they have something.
Yes, it's kind of more a thing where I have to just assert myself. You know, I've been in this position, thank God, to be a physician, and I happen to be black and happen to be female. But that doesn't make me any less qualified to do my job to help others. And so it's difficult, but I guess I'm just so used to it. I don't think too much about it.
You block it out.
It just is what it is. I don't know anything else but that.
That's
So,
amazing.
You know, I guess because I know that this is what I'm supposed to do, it helps to eliminate that concern about what the stereotype is of a physician, because I'm just me and I happen to be black and a female. But
Yeah.
I think me and the doctor that I'm supposed to be, I gotta just flow and go with it.
You know something, one thing I think about is how important it is for women, you know, to know their body and know just the different things of knowing your body.
Correct.
You know, because if you don't know your body, you don't even know to go to the doctor.
Correct.
So how important is it for people to really go see the doctor? Like, how often should they go?
Well, I think everyone, at least annually, every year, should have a general checkup, preventative checkup. You know, it's so much easier to prevent disease than it is to treat it after the fact, when it's long gone and past an advanced stage where it's too late to do something. So, you know, once a year, specifically for women between the ages of 21 up until 65, you should get a pap smear. You know, talk to your doctor about that. General checkup for men are important as well, to check for, you know, basic health things for cholesterol, diabetes, prostate, all that.
All that, doctor. One of the things that I really was concerned about was why now they, you know, fix it where women go get their pap smear every 3 years.
It's age dependent. So between the ages of 21 to 30, it's every 3 years. And then after that, 30 up until 65 is every 5 years.
Really?
That's correct. That's
Oh my!
correct.
And I know at one point in time it was every year.
It wasn't supposed to be.
It isn't supposed to
One
be.
time that was being done, but that was not necessary.
Oh, because I was thinking that, I was like, well, if I'm not able to do that every year, then, you know, how can you detect something if God forbid, you know?
The reason why you can have so much time between, you know, one check and another is because cancer needs time to grow. So if you're checking it too frequently, you're kind of doing unnecessary testing where there's nothing there to really, you know, check for that's wrong.
Wow. See, girl, you are educated, girl. Oh my God, you need to be in this seat,
my
educating me. Okay.
I'm doing it now.
I'm
In this seat. In this
in,
seat.
in the hot seat. You're in the hot seat.
I know my place.
Okay, look, one of the things too is, what would you say to young women who would love to be a doctor? Because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of young girls out there who would want to actually do that field.
First of all, I will say we need you. You're very needed. Only 2% of physicians are black females specifically, which is sad and unfortunate. I would say make sure it's a desire that you have to do. Make sure it's also something that, like I said, you really want to do, and that you get yourself in an environment around the health field. You know, you can shadow or volunteer at a hospital or even shadow a physician. And they don't have to be a black physician or a person of color, just be in that environment to get exposed, you know, to the health field so that you can kind of have an idea of what you want to get into. And also know that you're the only one that can stop you. So chew on that.
Oh my
Only
God.
you
And
can
you know,
stop you.
that's something I say all the time.
It's so true.
Because the only way that your goals don't be succeeded is you have to not believe.
That's
Other
right.
people can say they can stop you, but they technically can't
They
stop you.
can't.
They can put
can't.
negative thoughts
and they
in your
can
mind.
try, but if you truly have that desire and that will and motivation to go forth towards your goal, then it's going to happen.
Well, why do you think it's so many people not actually going into that particular field?
I think because there's not many faces like mine that are in the field. So, you know, you can't be what you can't see. So then in that situation, if you don't see a doctor that's black, then you wouldn't know that that's a potential for you. You know, you kind of feel like you can only be an athlete or in a music video, or not to knock those things, but there's more to us than that.
Well, you know something, as I was talking to my guest earlier, you know, when I was growing up, just actually knowing about going to a four-year college was something that wasn't even an option per se, you know, because of the finances. And I'm pretty sure becoming a doctor, you know, is much longer for schooling, right?
Correct.
And how long normally is it?
So, you know, you do your 4 years of college after high school, of course, and then you do 4 years of medical school. And then after that, depending on what field you want to go to, for example, I'm a family medicine physician, and my training is for 3 years. So if you want to become an OB-GYN, you do 4 years after medical school.
Oh, wow.
You want to become a neurosurgeon, you do like 25 years. No, I'm just kidding. It's a lot more training.
Oh
so
my
it just
God.
depends. So, you know, you can put yourself about 11 years or so of schooling after high school-ish.
And see, and that's the thing, most of the time, people, period, it don't matter what race you is, you don't want to actually go to school that long because you're
Right.
like, I already went to school 12 years.
Right.
Now you telling me I got to put 12 more years in? That's like all my life.
Yeah.
Because technically, once you graduate from high school, you know, going to college, that's a transition. So technically, you don't need to start doing that when you get a little older because, you know, I mean, if you're 40 and you want to become a doctor, then
Right.
it's It's like, not saying it's too late, but it's
No, it's
because
not
it's
too late.
unlimited, right?
I actually had a student, a medical student in my class. She was 46
Awesome.
in medical school. So I'm like, if Melody can do it, happens to have your name. So go ahead, girl. If Melody can do it, then I can do it. So that gave me no excuses.
Wow.
And then the thing is, in terms of like being in school a long time, you're going to be alive anyway.
Yeah,
Right?
literally.
So what is the rush? You're going to be here, might as well accomplish your goals and, you know, contribute to society in that way.
That's
So need you.
amazing. Because, you know, a lot of times when especially young women, especially from the age of 25 to maybe 45, they're feeling like, what am I supposed to do? Where am I supposed to go? And I really believe that regardless of where you are, life still really is unlimited. I don't care what
That's
age you
true.
are.
That's true.
You know, like, just because I'm 50 doesn't mean that I got to give up on life. I mean,
Right. And
you know.
I know people have had other careers, like they've been engineers or they've been veterinarians or other fields, and they come to be a physician because if that's for you, you're going to somehow get around back to it.
Yeah.
So it's really never too late. Like I said, only you can stop you.
Wow, that's amazing. That's awesome, girl. You see, you just so knowledgeable. Oh my God. See, that's why I tell people they have to watch my show because we have amazing guests on this show. You know what I'm saying? Educating, especially women, knowing that they can live life unlimited.
That's true.
And it's good to have that type of support too, like when you go in there, because I know your patients, just seeing the smile on their faces actually encourage you to want to continue to do what you do.
Exactly, and also when they actually follow my directions, my plan for them. If they, I'm not just saying do what I say, but if I have a good intent, I want to help you achieve wellness. So that puts the biggest smile on my face when they actually go to the program.
Because
for their help.
It's very difficult to actually, because we feel like we the doctor too.
Oh yeah.
So we like, the doctor didn't really mean take this every day. He meant take it every
Yes.
other week. But anyway, so you guys, I hope that you have been so educated, knowing that you can live life unlimited, because we've had 2 doctors today that has, told us that we can live life unlimited, whether it's education, whether it's going into become a doctor, being the dean of a university, and all those amazing things. And I thank you so much for being on the show.
It was very good.
Awesome, right? You guys, stay tuned. Continue to follow me on all my social media, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Until next time, your girl, Melody.